Welcome back to the Beautiful Things channel. Today I want to show you how to make a really simple rainbow from felt. Now you could make these large and hang them in your windows, or you could make them small and turn them into little brooches, or you could make them as appliques to stitch onto t-shirts or bags, whatever you fancy. They really are simple. All you're going to need, if you want to make it as a brooch and or a wall hanging, you will definitely need some cardboard. I'm just using an Amazon delivery envelope. I always keep these, they're perfect. Otherwise a cereal packet is just as good. And you're going to need some felt. Now if you don't have felt, you can use fabric scraps. If you don't mind raw edges, that is. If you don't like raw edges, might not work quite so well, but use what you've got, use your scraps, use what you've got to hand. At the moment we're not able to get out to the shops and buy bits and bobs, so just make do. I'm sure you'll be able to use your creativity to good use and work out what to do with this tutorial. So I've got some felt. I don't have a great deal, but I do have scraps in rainbow colours. So I've got the full red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. If you haven't got all of the colours, that's not a problem. You might not have indigo and violet, for instance, but you might have a pink, or you might have one purple. It doesn't matter if you don't have all 7 colours. You can do it with 5, you can do it with 6. Use your imagination. So first thing first, you're going to need a template. So I'm going to cut open my Amazon envelope. So I've got a nice large piece of cardboard. I'm just watching the boys who live here riding around the car park on their bikes. It's really lovely because there's nobody here at the moment other than me. They've got the run of the whole car park. It's like they've got their own amazing bike track. It's lovely. So I'm just keep catching them out of the corner of my eye. Right, so I've got a nice large piece of cardboard. I'm going to take one half and I'm going to use that for my main body template, and then I'm going to take the other half to make my other pieces from. So once you've got all your colours ready, you're going to draw yourself a rainbow onto your cardboard. Now you can draw your rainbow any size you like, but you want to make sure that you have divided it into however many colours you have in your rainbow. So for me, I have chosen to use 6 colours. I'm not going to use the paler purple. I'm just going to go for 6. I'm going to go for red, orange, yellow, green, blue and a purple. Just a more kind of non-traditional rainbow. I've drawn my template and I've divided it up into the 6 sections of colour. And I'm going to start by cutting a red rainbow. Now my red rainbow needs to be as big as my template, and I'm actually going to allow for a tiny weeny bit of overhang, just a tiny weeny bit, because I'm going to use my rotary cutter to cut it out. If you don't have a rotary cutter, then simply draw around it and cut it out with scissors. Once you've got your red template, what you're going to want to do is then write the word red onto your top section, your top arc, and then you're going to cut out your red arc. You can use these again, don't worry. Pop that to one side. Take your orange felt and cut out an entire arc. Pop it on top of your red one. You can see where I'm going with this. Right orange on the arc. Cut it out. Use the remaining template to cut yourself a yellow arc. Right yellow. Cut it out. use the remaining template, cut yourself a green arc, and you're going to find that because you've hand cut your templates like this, you're going to have a really lovely childlike arc. It's not going to be perfectly symmetrical, and it's great. Right green, cut out your arc, go for the blue, right blue, cut it out, and your last remaining little arc can then be cut from purple. Like I say, how you do this is entirely up to you. The size is up to you. The number of colours you use is up to you. You don't even have to use traditional rainbow colours. I've seen some amazing leopard print rainbows out there. Then you can simply layer up all of your colours. Now, you could glue it at this stage if you wanted to. You could use fabric glue or PVA glue, and you could just glue it together. But those of you with sewing machines, this is where you get to have fun. I'm going to put some pins through my layers. And I'm going to get my sewing machine and I'm going to thread it up. And I'm going to thread it up with my various rainbow colours, and I'm going to sew stitching lines through my felt. As I say, if you don't have a sewing machine, you could stitch it with glue. You could sew it by hand. You could use embroidery threads, and you could sew lovely embroidery threads through it. But you basically want to attach your layers together like so. How you do it, entirely up to you. I would really love to see your imaginations coming wild. I'm going to go and stitch it, then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So once you've done your stitching, your rainbow is pretty much complete. What you might want to do is just tidy up the bottom edge where your felt may have stretched and slid a little bit in your sewing, and you've got ends and things. Sometimes you want to go through just either with a rotary cutter or a pair of scissors and just straighten up that bottom edge. It's going to be quite thick in the middle because you've got lots of layers. There we go. So that's not going to fray, so that's good. If you wanted to stitch this onto a bag or a t-shirt, now is the chance to do it. So you just pop it onto your t-shirt, pin it in place and stitch around the outside edge, or you could pop it onto a tote bag or a cushion, anything like that. I'm going to turn mine into a window hanging though, and although it is quite stiff at the moment, it would be handy just to stiffen it up a little bit more. So I'm going to take a second cardboard template, and I'm going to take another piece of red felt, the same size as my rainbow, and I'm going to sandwich my card in between those two pieces of felt. And then I'm going to put one more row of stitching around the outer red edge through the two layers of felt, sandwiching the cardboard in between. And you're going to want to do that if you're making a brooch as well. Again, you don't have to sew. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can just use glue. So you would glue your cardboard template to the back of your rainbow, and then you would take another felt rainbow and glue it on top of the cardboard. You could then stitch on or glue on a brooch back. I like a hot glue gun personally, and a safety pin, or just stick it to an existing old pin batch, and there you have it, a fantastic, gorgeous brooch. Do you remember when you're making your cardboard to go inside that you do want your card to be smaller by probably about ½ an inch if you're going to sew through. If you're going to glue it, it doesn't matter quite so much, but if you're going to sew, then you do want to make sure that you're not going to catch the cardboard with your sewing machine needle. So I'm just going to keep trimming mine down until I'm about ½ an inch smaller. If you're gluing, it's not quite so vital. There we go. So you can see I am ½ an inch away from the edge. So when I sandwich my two pieces of felt together and I stitch around this top edge, I won't damage my sewing machine needle. I'm going to cut a red arc exactly the same size as my felt rainbow using my template. and then I can stack them up. Now it doesn't hurt to use a little bit of glue at this point, just to glue your cardboard in place before you stitch. So pretend that you're making a glued up rainbow, and then sew it. So my cardboard is now 1/2 inch smaller all the way around than my backing panel. I'm going to pop my lovely proper one on top. I'm going to use some of these quilting clips that I've got to clip mine up. But as I say, if you don't have those, then you can just use glue. Glue it together, but just keep the glue out of the fabric area where you're going to be putting your needle. And then stitch all the way around. Sandwiching your cardboard inside, and it's just going to make it sturdier. It's perfect if you're going to turn it into a brooch, or if you're going to turn it into a wall hanging like I am, or a window hanging. Obviously I am going to sew with red thread, so I will be going red straight across the bottom, which means I will get a line of red stitching going all the way across my various colours, but it's right at the bottom and I'm not too worried about that. Otherwise I'd be changing my thread every time I stitched across a different colour, and I can't be doing with that. So there you go, there's my felt rainbow front and back. It's nice and sturdy. I'm going to thread some clear thread. I've got some clear sewing thread. I'm going to thread it through here and here through the top, and a nice hanging loop so that we can hang it from the openings of our windows, which is what I've done with my crocheted rainbow that I've got hanging, and I absolutely love that. I'm really, really pleased with it. I think in miniature they would make such cute brooches. They'd look lovely stitched onto t-shirts or bags or cushions, and I can't wait to see your BTHQ felt rainbow. Use the hashtag if you do share them on social media, because I'd love to see them. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and I'll be back really soon with another one. Thanks for watching. Bye!